Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle four little words that can cause some big headaches in English. Just, already, still, and yet. They're all best friends with the present perfect tense, and by the time we're done here, you're going to feel way more confident using them.
Okay, let's just dive right in, shall we? Take a look at these two sentences. He hasn't finished the report yet, and he still hasn't finished the report. On the surface, they seem to mean the same thing, right? But the feeling behind them? Totally different. One is just a simple statement of fact. The other one? Yeah, you can almost taste the impatience. And getting this difference right, that's one of those little secrets to sounding supernatural in English.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll get the big picture. Then, we'll split these adverbs into two teams. You've got the it's done team with just and already, and then you've got the are we there yet team with still and yet. We'll put them head to head, touch on a really interesting difference between US and UK English, and then wrap it all up with a simple takeaway guide.
So, what's the deal with these four words and the present perfect tense? Why are they always hanging out together? Well, it's all because the present perfect tense is basically a bridge. It connects something that happened in the past to right now. And you can think of these four little adverbs as signs on that bridge, telling us exactly how that past action connects to the present moment.
Okay, let's kick things off with our first pair, just and already. I kind of think of these as the early birds. They both tell us that an action is finished, but they give us a little extra info. Either it happened a moment ago, or maybe even a little sooner than we thought it would.
First in line is just. The main job of just is to shine a huge spotlight on how incredibly recent something is. So when you use just, you're essentially shouting, hey, this happened like 5 seconds ago. It's all about that feeling of immediacy.
And here's the thing about just. It's super predictable with where it goes. It loves to squeeze itself right in between the helper verb, have or has, and the main verb. I've just seen. He has just eaten. See? It's like a little stamp that says freshly done.
All right, now let's talk about already. This one's fun because it often adds a little dash of surprise. You use it when something's finished, and maybe you're a little impressed or even shocked that it happens so soon. It's for things that are done ahead of schedule.
Now, this is where already is a little bit of a rule breaker, you know? Unlike just, it's flexible. It can sit right there in the middle, like I've already seen it, which is super common. Or it can jump all the way to the end of the sentence for a bit of extra punch, like the train's left already. Both ways are totally fine.
Okay, time to switch gears. Let's move on to our second pair, still and yet. We are now officially entering what I like to call the waiting game. These two words are all about things we expect to happen, but, well, they haven't happened yet.
First up is still. Still tells us that a situation is continuing. And, it often brings a little bit of impatience along with it. It emphasizes that something we thought would be over by now is, well, it's still going on. It's the adverb of, come on already.
Now pay close attention to the word order here, because it's a big deal. Still always plants itself before the negative part, before haven't or hasn't. So it's the bus still hasn't come. It's like the word itself is standing there, tapping its foot, waiting.
Okay, so what about yet? Yet is also about something we're waiting for, but it's way more neutral. It's much calmer. Think of it as a simple status check. We use it in questions to ask, has this happened so far? Or in negative statements to say, nope, not so far, but without all that emotional drama that still likes to bring to the party.
And the rule for where yet goes? It couldn't be easier. Yet loves to be at the very end of the sentence. Whether it's a question or a negative statement, it just parks itself right at the end. Super easy to remember.
All right, this is the big one. Let's put still and yet head-to-head in negative sentences. This is probably the #1 point of confusion for so many people, but I promise when you see them side by side, it all just clicks.
So here it is. She hasn't called yet is a neutral statement. It's like you're just checking her status off a list. But when you say she still hasn't called, you're adding your feelings into it. You're showing you're surprised, or maybe a little annoyed. So think of it like this. Yet simply reports the facts, while still comments on the facts. Okay, let's take a quick detour because this is something that trips a lot of people up, and it's super helpful to know. We're talking about the difference between British English and American English when it comes to these adverbs.
So generally speaking, in British English, you're going to hear the present perfect with these words. But in American English, it's really common to hear the simple past tense instead, especially with just and already. So I've just arrived often becomes I just arrived.
And listen, neither one is wrong. They're both totally correct. It just depends on who you're talking to. It's just a really good thing to be aware of.
Phew, okay. We have gone through a lot. So let's wrap this all up with a super simple cheat sheet. Honestly, if you're going to remember one thing from this whole explainer, this next slide is it.
So here we go in a nutshell. Just is for something that happened moments ago, and it goes in the middle. Already means it happened sooner than you thought, and it also lives in the middle. Still shows an action is still not finished, and it comes right before the haven't or hasn't. And finally, good old yet is for things that haven't happened so far, and it waits patiently at the very end.
And there you have it. The absolute best way to really get these down is to start using them. So I've got a little challenge for you. What's something you've just done? What have you already finished today? And what do you still have left to do? Or what haven't you gotten around to yet? Give it a try. Thanks so much for tuning in.